Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthday. Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthday. Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthday. Karen's birthdays, it's time for Karen's birthday.
All right, well, let's get on to Karen's big finale. Karen's taking the mic. Let's give it to her.
God.
It's Karen's
You
birthdays.
drop the mic. Now pick it back up and do the birthdays.
Where Karen
other part of
celebrates
the
the
movie.
birthdays of those who make the movies.
Drop the
Karen?
mic.
Let's start off our birthday week by wishing a happy birthday to Mr. Never Nude himself, David Cross, who turns 50,
Oy.
but can play anywhere from clueless to unaware. We all know David from Arrested Development and Mr. Show, but did you know he has done a ton of voiceovers for animated movies? He was in Megamind, Kung Fu Panda, Small Soldiers, but do you remember that he did a voice in 2012 of one of the characters in Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked? Did anyone know that
I
happened?
feel like I
I
heard
think we
about
made a
that.
joke about it. Yeah.
I think we
Yes.
did.
Thought for a
And
second their
so-
butt was
Well,
a
I
movie.
think.
I was looking at the IMDb and I just had to read you this quote because it says everything we've always suspected. About doing Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked, he says, and this is in IMDb where anyone can read it, he does not care. He says, all I wanted was to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible. They encouraged me to improvise and come up with funnier lines if I wanted to, but my entire strategy in those movies was to come in on time, shoot as much as I could as quickly as I could, and then get the hell out of there so I could buy a summer home with the check.
Wow.
And IMDb, everyone who worked in this movie knows he said that.
Mad respect, David Cross.
Wow.
I love David Cross even more now. Next up, let's wish a happy birthday to everyone's favorite brother, David Hyde Pierce, who turns 55, but can play anywhere from Slim in A Bug's Life to the recently released Mr. Peabody.
He wasn't Mr. Peabody.
Wow. What happened?
He was?
Isn't that sad? He should have
yeah,
been
he
Mr.
should've.
I
Peabody.
don't
Oh,
see him
yeah.
much anymore.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have been the voice of Mr. Peabody?
He should have been the. Yeah. I love that other guy. He's great in the Muppet movie, but I don't know.
He was so good on that show.
Oh, so good. He was one of the only actors ever to be nominated for an Emmy every year the movie show was on TV.
Wow.
He didn't win every year, but he was
and you have to be
nominated.
cast as Kelsey Grammer's brother.
Which
Yeah.
is why he got the audition. They were looking for people that looked like Kelsey Grammer. He walked in and they said, "We love your look," and they wrote the character around him.
Wow.
Isn't that
Wow.
amazing? It helps to look like Kelsey Grammer once in a
guess.
while.
And sound like him.
Once in a while. Once in a
Once
great while.
Here's
We all-
something Netflix is good for
Yep.
is I watched, when I'm working in the office and I just want something on in the background, I'll put on the TV and turn on Cheers. And so I watched all 230 whatever episodes of Cheers, just sort of in the background. I don't need to be paying attention. I've seen them,
That's
most of
great.
them anyway. And now I'm on to Frasier, so I'm about 3 seasons into that. and it's
that's
just that. I
fantastic.
mean, that
That's
show
great.
might be better, and I have a fierce love of Cheers. But the more I see like the humanity they inject into Frasier,
think
I
Frasier
really
would be
enjoy it because Cheers was so cold, and I love the coldness of it. Everyone in there is shallow as hell, and it's just great, you know. But now I'm really warming up to the humanity that was in Frasier.
It is a
and
very
so-
different show.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
both
is
great, both brilliant.
Does he have the record for playing the longest character for the longest length of
Oh.
time
He
on
has
television?
to.
Because I was like, Cheers
How long
went
did the
11
honeymooners-
years. He went 10,
5
right?
episodes.
It's like 21 years.
Yeah,
Of playing. Well,
something
he
like
came
that.
in the third year, so like 19 years.
I have a fun little
Jamie's on
game
her
for you
phone.
guys. I think that this will be great. Just feel free to yell
That's
out.
a lot of syndication money.
Yeah, right.
That's a
We all know
lot.
that David Hyde Pierce did a lot of television, but he did a ton of movies. You will not even believe how many.
He was in one of my favorites, Nixon.
Yeah.
Played John Dean.
He's been in so many small parts. So I'm going to give you a list of 4 movies.
Or Noxon if you
And
turn
you
the box
tell
upside
me.
down.
I'm going to give you a list of 4 movies, and you tell me which one he was not in. Okay?
Okay.
The Fisher King, Addams Family Values, Splash, or The Terminator.
Wow.
Yeah.
He goes back that far,
It's
huh?
amazing how far back he goes.
He was not in the Terminator.
You'd think, right?
David Hyde Pierce is in the Terminator.
He's in the Terminator as like a driver of some truck. Isn't that amazing? I think
Splash?
that's the one he's not in.
Wow.
That's the one I threw in there to be wacky, though
I-
it
I
seems
would
like he
think
would
he'd
be.
be in Splash
right?
of all things.
Let's try these ones. All right, here's 4 more. Sleepless in Seattle, Searching for Bobby Fischer, Little Man Tate, or Hellboy.
He's not in Little Man Tate.
Little Man Tate.
He's in Little Man Tate.
He's in Little Man Tate.
I don't think he's
know.
in Searching for Bobby Fischer. 'cause
Right.
There are
You'd
only
think he
5
would
people in
be in
that. But
Searching
there's
for
only
Bobby
5 people in that
Fischer.
movie.
Of course, now
You
we know
would
he's
think
in.
so.
Yeah.
But he's in Hellboy.
He's one of the voices in Hellboy. I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes.
he didn't take a credit for it because he felt that the actor should have gotten the credit, so he's uncredited.
And that's the actor that did the body of Silver Surfer and all
Doug
the,
Jones.
Doug
I think
Jones.
that's very cool. So, and lastly, We'll wish a happy birthday to everyone's favorite superhero, Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, who turns 49.
Without whom we might not have all these
I
wonderful
know, he's doing
things.
great. I know. Actually, that's a good point.
I know, yeah.
He can
You gotta
play
think.
anywhere from a silent
RDJ.
movie star to black. Sure. I don't know how I missed the boat on him. I really didn't know much about that whole early career. I didn't know about his drug abuse. I learned about it when I was doing this research. And I really started to pay attention to him with his resurgence when he did Tropic Thunder. And I was like, who is this fantastically awesome guy? And everybody's like, oh, he's a druggie. But I didn't really know about that. And then he went and he started to star in these Iron Man movies, which blows my mind because he's absolutely amazing.
But he's such a talent.
Well, he was always a good actor.
Always a talent.
but
Always
just
great,
didn't-
right?
But until Iron Man, I literally think he didn't have the starring role in any
No.
movie. He was always the-
Chaplin, I
I was
guess.
gonna say Chaplin was the one that
Chaplin
made him.
maybe. And I don't know if it was just because that was his sort of worst Hollywood saw him, or if it was his drug problems. They didn't want to give him the big roles that might
Well,
sink
when-
the movie if he had to be out of it or
When
something
he
like that.
got
But-
out of prison, Russell Crowe, I believe, was the first person to put him in a movie, even though he didn't pass the insurance tests. They weren't going to insure him, and so Russell Crowe put him in the movie
Was
anyway.
it Russell Crowe or Mel Gibson? I always
Mel
heard
Gibson.
Mel Gibson was
That's
the
who
guy.
it is.
America?
Mel Gibson.
Because then
Yeah.
he really
yeah.
came
I'm
to
sorry,
Mel
yeah.
Gibson's defense when he was going through
Yes,
his,
yes,
these
he did.
problems that are never
Yeah.
ending, I guess.
But here's something kind of fun, another quick little game. Can you guess, because Downey has done films with all three of these actors who's played Batman. Can you guess which Batman he's actually worked with? Which Batmen, I should say, he's worked with.
Oh, I know one. But
Okay,
I know,
which
I
one do
would.
you
I know
think?
one too. Yeah.
I would.
Oh, wait, which one has he or which one hasn't he?
Has he? He's worked with
Val-
3 Batmen.
Well, he worked with Val Kilmer in
Yes.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yep.
He worked with... Did he work
We
with
worked with
George
Clooney and Good Night and Good Luck.
Good Night and Good Luck, yeah.
and
yeah.
who else?
Well,
It's one more.
Was he with Keaton and anything,
Keaton?
or Christian Bale?
Christian Bale.
Those are your options, right?
Adam
or
West.
Adam West.
Or Adam West.
I don't think I've ever heard any of you say the name of this movie, so you might not get it. He was with Michael Keaton in Game 6 in
Oh
2005.
yeah, the Red Sox movie.
I heard of Game
Oh.
6. I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yes.
He made a lot of movies.
Oh,
before.
yeah.
his
And now,
amazing list.
and now he just makes franchise movies. You realize that?
And
He's played Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes in the last
He
6 years, and that's
said-
it.
Yeah, well, he did Due Date.
Yes,
Oh,
he did.
yeah.
do
That's
that.
the one.
That's
That's
another
the
one that I think I put that in the Blues Brothers 2005.
And the other thing that
What
I
year
thought
did
was
Blues
cool.
Brothers 2000 come out?
98.
The other thing I thought was cool about him is he says that when he
Perfect answer.
he says that when he did the Iron Man movie, he says that when he did the Iron Man movies, he took Iron Man 2 the most serious because nobody does a good sequel. And so he was like, well, I don't want to
neither
fuck
did
this
he.
up.
Nailed it.
Kidding.
And he nailed it. So lastly, Lee,
Yes.
you know how much I love when celebrities sing.
I do. People ask
Yes.
me.
Do you have Robert Downey Jr. singing?
People ask me 2 things about Karen. They say, "Tell me
Yes.
2 things about
Yes.
Karen." And I say, first of all, she's never eaten a grape.
No,
In
I'm
2,
afraid of skin.
she loves to hear celebrities sing.
I do love the celebrity singing, and I am particularly fond of this one. I learned about this months ago. I wrote myself a note, and I said when Robert Downey Jr. has a birthday, he has to sing the duet that he sang with Sting, which is Driven to Tears, and it's not funny. It's awesome.
Oh,
And you can't even tell which one is which.
Whoa.
It's so
Does not
good.
sound like a Sting song.
Oh, it's so good.
Wow.
It'll take a second to get into it, but
Sure.
he's
Seriously,
so
never
we
good.
eaten
can
a
talk
grape?
it up.
I do.
Well, while we wait for that,
While
can I
we-
say one thing about
Yeah,
your
while we're doing
birthdays?
it.
Yes.
Fuck you, David Cross. Give
I know.
that role to somebody who would freaking enjoy going
such
to
a
work
shit.
and making money. And God, I
Oh,
find
He's
him
such a
funny.
shit. At some point, I stopped liking him.
I'm
He's
with
such
yes.
a shit.
Is he
He's
really?
got- yes, I like
No, I
his
mean, I
humor.
like him in Arrested Development, but like as a stand-up and stuff, I'm just like at some point I'm like, shut up. He just got really.
Maybe
like,
it helps not to know too much about a
Yeah,
person
I
off
think it might,
stage.
it might
Well, then
be.
don't do birthdays. I learn a lot.
Really? Who have you been most disillusioned by?
I actually fell in love with Keanu Reeves the opposite way.
Yeah, that happened for all.
Really?
I'm sorry, who?
Cool Breeze
Cool
Reeves.
Breeze
Thank you.
Reeves.
We
If
learned,
I don't like the person, I don't do their birthday.
Oh, really? Okay.
we learned that's what Keanu means.
He's a great
Or
guy.
Cool Breeze.
Cool
Let's
breeze.
doing some singing. Let's hear.
This is not Sting.
Comfortable existence is reduced to a
That's Sting.
shallow, meaningless
That's Downey
body.
Jr.?
Seems that when some innocent die, all we can
How long do you think he went around just going, Look, you gave me a lead, and I got an Oscar nomination for Chaplin. Now nothing but support. I mean, I know I've got this thing going on with my
Yeah,
personal
you're
life, but
Here
one
they are
lead,
s-
one
wait.
Oscar nomination. I got a good track record going. Give me another lead.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh
what
my
they
God.
sing together. Listen.
to cheer.
He's so close. That's Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Wow, he's a good mimic then too.
Yeah.